Corso and Catone.
Well, listen, Mark, hold on. When I say, would you have caffeine today?
What the hell is that up to then?
Presented by Special Sauce Podcast, Studio 42 Design, and Corso Law Group. Now for the real deal New England feel, Corso and Catone.
Welcome into Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. I'm Corso. Catone is here. And guess who's absent again, Mark?
Listen, this is becoming like a regular routine with him. Like what is he, a part-time worker now?
It's becoming a trend now, right? Two or more times. That's now a trend, right? So we're gonna have to give Joe a lot of crap when he comes back. But Joe, Mark, he's left me the controls again.
Well, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Just for all our viewers, that's dangerous.
So Joe's not with us, but you're with us watching us on YouTube, listening on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, or hey, wherever you podcast. And give us a call in Heated Hotline, 855-313-PATS, 24/7. Leave us a message. You know the routine. Have a take. Joe's going to pick the one. When he shows up, he'll pick the one that he likes best, and maybe that one will be yours. So 855-313-7287. Hey, we got a good one today. Where's the heart, Boston? Where's the heart? Where's the heart? This heart right here. HEART, Mark. Where is the heart? That's the theme for today's show. And in B's and
it's getting bad, right? We're hanging on by a thread, right?
Yeah, and in B's and C's, we're going to talk about that and talk about the fact that there's no closing going on here in Boston. So, and then stick around because Catone's comments, you never want to miss that. We'll have that. And we're going to hear from one of you in the nation in Heated Hotline, and maybe we'll drag a little Pats preview into that, Mark, right?
I hope so. It's a rookie camp this weekend.
That's right. And the schedule is released tomorrow. And we're recording on Wednesday. Schedule is going to be, we'll have a little taste because next week, Mark, we're going to have our full
between you and Joe, you're traveling, so we got a tape today. I don't know where you are. You want to be, you're all over the joint. I don't know what you're doing. You got cases all over the country, you.
All right, be quiet. We're going to go B's and C's. You ready for this? Here we go. B's and C's, Mark. So, Mark, I hope this isn't the last time we play that wash.
Yeah, well, you know what? It could be. It very well could be.
So, talking about no heart, where's the heart, Boston? We have to start with the Celtics because as far as we're concerned, it's not Saturday night right now. It's Wednesday night. And you know what? There's enough. I don't care if they, tomorrow night, if they win or whatever, there are still issues that we need to discuss, and they're going to be, they're there, regardless of if they win tomorrow night or not. So, Mark, that performance last night, that being Tuesday night, okay? And I think they ended up beating, I don't know what the final was, maybe 12, 14 points, something like that. Didn't matter. They were down 20 at one point. At home again, Mark. Home again.
They didn't just lose, though. They were behind pretty much from the get-go. The entire game they were behind. It wasn't just, they lost it in the fourth quarter. They were behind the whole game.
The whole game. And so they're 3-2 in the series at this point on Wednesday. And just let me give you a stat, and I want you to tell me what the hell is going on here. They're 7-9 their last that many games. In the last 16, right? 7-9 at home. In the
playoffs.
In the playoffs. What?
Yeah,
what's going on with this team?
And part of that, Chris, rolls over to Udoka last year. So we can't put all this on Mazzulla. Let's be honest, right? But I just don't know, Chris. I don't know if they lose focus and intensity at home because they just think that they're on their home court and they're just going to throw the ball out there and they'll win. I don't get what's happening at home. But this particular season, I think there's some definite trends as to why they're losing, not just at home, but on the road as well, but definitely at home. And we talked about this, Chris. The defensive intensity they had last year with Udoka, the movement, the rotation on defense, the hands, the constant tipping of a ball, getting to a ball. They don't have that type of effort this right now, Chris. They're not getting to balls. They're not tipping balls. They're not rotating. They're not moving. They're standing and watching, right? They're standing and watching.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know you're going to bring up some examples of that.
Look, I mean, last year we looked at them and we talked about how they did in that Brooklyn site. And we talked about Kevin Durant. The big thing was, you and I were going back and forth about how he's going to guard him. And I'm like, the littles for Boston were getting in under his skin. They were all up in everything. That ball was coming out. They were bothering him. And the fouls weren't getting called because they were hustling so hard at it that, you don't see it. I mean, you see it in spurts. You see little.
But Chris, they should be doing the same thing to Harden.
Because Missoula doesn't emphasize this. Now I don't think Jaylen Brown's doing a bad job. Well, I mean, I'm saying, I'm saying that. The dude's going for 40 points. He's going for how many games he had? 40? 30? So, no, you know what? They're not doing a good job. Mark, they're doing things like on the pick and roll. They're going under. They're not fighting over the top of the pick and roll. And so, therefore, they're leaving them open. They're doing it on against Maxey, too. I mean, Maxey goes on that pick and roll, and they go underneath the pick. Well, guess what's going to happen? They're going to hit the shot. They hit 50%. So they're doing those kinds of things. They're not doing the little things that they were doing before. And I don't think it's being emphasized, Mark. Look, 39% field goal percentage, okay, last night. Philly was in the 50s somewhere. So there's two things I see with that. And by the way, they missed 9 free throws too, which you can't do. You can't do in the playoffs.
Not in the playoffs. And especially at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer. There's none of those sticks getting waved in your face and all that other crap. But, Mark, 39% field goal percentage tells me what? Tells me that they're just not engaged. They're not focused. And when the other team's shooting over 50%, defensively, you're not engaged. You're not focused. It's too easy. The shots that Philly's getting are easy, Mark.
Well, yeah, and conversely, Chris, because you shot 39%, Philly was able to get a lot of rebounds and a lot of breakout baskets where they were able to throw the ball up court and get up court quickly and get some layups and as you said, Chris, some easy baskets, right? And you brought up something to me yesterday that was, I knew. Well,
because Mark called me yesterday and was screaming and yelling, swearing, using all kinds of interesting language,
So you brought up something very interesting yesterday, which I knew, but I just wasn't thinking about it, was what you brought up about hucking up the threes, right? So yeah, you may shoot 30% or 40%, but if you're shooting X number of shots a game and and they're threes, well, so what? You're gonna score enough points to win the game anyways. Explain what you were saying to me yesterday. And this seems to be Missoula's philosophy, but it's not working.
That's all he cares about. I mean, it's all he cares about anytime he's in a press conference.
Tell the viewers what you were telling me last night.
Look, they earlier in the series, they shot like 25 of them in one game, okay? And Missoula, the one thing Missoula was pissed about is we got to shoot more three-pointers. So he figures, okay, well, if we shoot 40%, okay, and we put up 55 threes, well, we're going to put 75 we're going to put 70-some-odd points on the board, right, with just three-pointers, just on sheer percentage. They're the geeks. They were the nerds. They were the analytical nerds, okay? So we put 70-some-odd points up on the board with just three, and we manufacture the other 40 points we need to win the game.
Yeah.
This is the theory. We don't have to play defense now. How's that working out, Joe? Sleepy Joe?
It's not working out.
Well, so let's talk about Joe Mazzulla then, okay? Yeah, okay, rookie coach. But Mark, we've talked about this going into this series, going into the playoffs, down the stretch at the end. Look, these teams that they played against, and we talked about this a month ago on the show when they were struggling down the stretch. Philly played better down the stretch. They upped their game. Cleveland upped their game. New York upped their game. The Heat did. Even the Nets did. Okay? Played better. Milwaukee did, except you.
Yeah, you just played status quo, and you barely held on to the 2 seed, right? Philly almost caught you, right?
Yeah.
They didn't up their game, Chris, at all. And listen, the thing that bothers me, Chris, is during the regular season, he made some time management mistakes. use of timeouts or lack thereof use of timeouts. And he basically, in some of his press conference during the course of the year, acknowledged, yeah, maybe I should have called the timeout. That's on me. Okay, fine, Joe. You're a rookie coach. You're learning. It's the regular season. Okay, you know what? We'll give you the pass. And many people did, and you and I did, Chris, too. We gave him the pass. But now, Game 5, you're in Philly. Okay? You talked about Jaylen Brown's defense. We're going to get to that, too. What he did on that play
4.
with hot.
You're talking about
Game 4. I'm sorry. Yes, Game 4. I'm sorry, Chris. Game 4, yes. Explain the scenario down the stretch. He doesn't call a timeout. And then the defense on Harden's 3 by Jaylen Brown was atrocious. But how do you not explain the sequence, Chris? First, Brown's lack of defense or lack thereof of understanding the play. And B, how does Mazzulla not call a timeout? I don't understand that.
Not to cross sports, okay? But what do we preach in New England? Situational football. It's situational basketball. You got to know the situation you're in, and you got to execute the job. I mean, that's it. I mean, and I'm tired of continuing to hear about, well, these guys will get it at some point. These guys have been playing now for 6-7 years. Like, when you going to get it? Marcus Smart's been playing for 9-10 years. Look, you're up 2. There's 20 seconds left and running on the clock, okay? Embiid's got the ball, and he's in the box, right? And you could see Embiid didn't want to shoot. He really didn't want to shoot. I mean, he was looking to anybody else other than to put the ball up. Now Tatum's on him. Brown's hugging Harden on the three-point line. Who's the only guy that's going to be able to kill you, who's been killing you all night? It's Harden. He decided he wanted to play basketball again, okay, which makes him lethal. Okay, so now he's sitting on the three-point line. Jaylen Brown decides he's going to come down and double Embiid and leave Harden wide open for 3 mark. What ends the game? Does a 3-point end the game there or a 2-point?
At 3 points, absolutely.
Well, so the worst that can happen if Embiid puts it up is what? You're down. You're tied up now with 18 seconds left.
So now, you got a shot. The winner will go to overtime.
Right. So now that's a bonehead screw. I mean, beyond the bonehead screw up. And he says it. I made the wrong read. No, you didn't make the wrong read. You fell asleep. Okay, you just fell asleep completely, which you can't do in that situation. So now the problem is compounded now with the fact that no timeout is called with 18 seconds left to advance the ball, get a good play going. Now, Mark, talk about the mental part of that. Talk about the psychological part of that, not calling the timeout when a guy makes such a blunder like that.
Well, that he should have called the timeout, Chris, even if it wasn't to call a play, just to mentally get everybody back in focus. Say, okay, hey, listen, screw it. It was a misread. Screw it. Forget it. We're going to win this game now. Here's what we're going to do. Like, just to refocus them. Even if they don't want to listen to your goddamn play, that's fine. But get them there and refocus. Say, hey, listen, forget it. It was a bad read. Screw it. Let's go now. Let's go win this thing. He didn't do that. He just let him continue. And then, Chris, on the last sequence, once we bring the ball up the court, okay, he doesn't call a timeout. Jason Tatum allegedly is your superstar, I guess. I don't know. These guys all think they're superstars. You're going to tell me LeBron, Giannis, Curry, those guys are forcing a shot if they have to. Try to draw a foul, but they're taking the goddamn shot. At the very least, you're getting it to Jaylen Brown, and he's forcing a shot to either hit it or get fouled. You're not doing what Tatum did.
It's unbelievable. First of all, okay, so fine. Those are the first 2 mistakes. The Brown mistake, that was what? An overtime? That was overtime, right?
That was overtime.
Okay, so because it happened at the other point. It happened at the end in the regulation too.
Yeah, it did.
When they were tied, and he didn't call the timeout. By the way, just so everybody knows, he ended the game with 2 timeouts. Took those home with him. Okay, so cash those in for some curly fries at friggin' Chick-fil-A over there. So, okay, Philly cheesesteak sandwich. He cashed those 2 timeouts in for. So
he went to Geno's.
Right. So good stuff though, Mark. That is,
Oh yeah.
There it is.
It's good for your arteries.
It is good. So, okay. So now, okay, fine. So you put it on Mazzulla, you put it on Brown. Now it has to go to the players again. Because now you're in overtime, 18 seconds left. Fine. The coach isn't calling a timeout for some whatever reason. You've been in the league you're the superstar. You came up fourth in the MVP voting, all that nonsense, right? You don't know, and Marcus Smart, 9 years, 10 years in the league. You don't know that you need to get into your play with more than 6 seconds left on the clock, Mark? I mean, there's 6 seconds, and now they're getting into their play. So, yeah, I saw it setting up. You saw. And by the way, there was a wrong read by Tatum. It had to go to White at the top of the key, and that would have been 2 more seconds for him to be able to shoot the shot. I mean, Smart made the shot.
Yeah.
So he was open. It was too late. So I can't not put it on the players. You have to put it on the players too, Mark. They should know this.
No. You do.
But I get what you're saying. The alpha male, make your own shot, create it,
do something.
Last week I asked you that question. I'm going to ask it again. Are you afraid of Jason Tatum when the chips are on the line?
No.
Why?
No. Because, Chris, what has he ever done to prove to you, to put fear in you? What has he done to put fear in you? Okay, once.
Game 6.
Game 6, Milwaukee, what does he score? 48? By the way, he's going to have to do that tomorrow night. He's going to have to put up 45 to 50 again.
And that's what you said last year when they went into Game 6.
I said last
Tatum's going to have to do this.
And that is my prediction again. If they win Game 6 in Philly, you mark my words, Tatum's got between 45 to 50, or Tatum's got low 40s and Brown's got 37, 38. And they're both going to either push 40 or Tatum's going to have to score 45 to 50 for them to get to a Game 7. Otherwise, they can't beat that team. But, Chris, other than that game, what has he ever done to say that to you, oh, my God, you got to make sure you got 2-3 guys watching Tatum because he's going to kill us. It doesn't happen.
I've been listening to it all day. I've been listening to, you can't do anything. Tatum's your guy. Tatum, you want the ball in Tatum's hand. Why? I haven't seen him win a game at the last second. Yeah, he had 37 or whatever, 38 points last night. Yeah, Mark. Yeah. When did those points come? Did those points come when they were down 5?
No, those points came when you were down 15 to 17 or 14 to 17. And then he decides he's going to hit threes and all. It was in garbage time as far as I was concerned, Chris. And you never got the score under 10.
Yeah, the pressure was off.
Yeah,
he'll score his points. He'll be the alpha if they're up 20 or they're down 20. But you can be sure as hell that under 5 minutes left, when it's a tight game, very rarely do you see him just take over. And okay, if they do that, they did it last series once. But I don't ever see him tied up, down 1, they're up 1, shot to win the game. He doesn't do it. He doesn't hit it. He never hits it. And not only doesn't he hit it, he doesn't execute. He doesn't execute it properly. It looks disjointed, doesn't it?
No, it is disjointed. I'm looking, Chris. I screenshotted it, and I really wanted to read for you what this is what the media over here does, though, Chris. Kendrick Perkins, I just want to read this to you. Takes 30 seconds.
Yeah.
He says, Jason Tatum better get it done when it comes to bringing a title back to Boston, period. When you talk about having a complete roster, he has that. When you talk about having an elite point guard play and guys who can bring it up and mix it up with Derek, White, Malcolm, and Marcus, you have another superstar on your team in Jaylen Brown. You're not missing anything when it comes to the interior. When you look at Robert Williams and Al Horford, if he has zero excuses not to get it done. All I heard was how miserable his offseason was, blah, 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 blah. It's championship or Boston. Well, I take offense to that because, first of all, is Jaylen Brown another superstar? Listen, I just think the perception of the local media here of these guys and this team is off base, Chris. And I like Kendrick Perkins, but Perk, is Jaylen Brown really? You're considering him a superstar? Really? Okay. You consider you're not missing anything in the interior when you look at Robert Williams and Al Horford? Robert Williams can't get off the floor. He can't jump. Are you kidding me? Al Horford, he looked like he was 117 years old yesterday. What was he, 0 for 15? from the field?
Yeah.
Is Perkins out of his mind? Did he watch what we watched last night? You're talking about the interior? Those guys stink.
Mark,
So
I don't know what people are saying.
I totally disagree with what Perkins just said. Yes, the pressure is on Tatum. It's championship or bust. I get it. I don't necessarily know if the Celtics have a complete roster when you look at the way they're playing, Chris. Like, I don't know what Jaylen Brown's another superstar. So he's considered. I don't know, Chris. I just don't see it.
I mean, today they had they announced the all NBA teams, right? And so Brown makes second team all NBA. Now he's eligible for the Supermax contract, 5 years, $295, which it's now easier for Boston actually for them to sign him. So they're probably going to get the two Supermax guys. And now Tatum makes first team, of course. He's going to get 5 years, $350 million. So they're going to lock these two guys up, Mark. That's what's going to happen here. And I'm sorry, if I hear one more person tell me Philly shouldn't even be in this series with you. Philly's, you're a better team than Philly. You're a better team than, look, first of all, okay, Joel Embiid is the MVP of this league. He earned it. He deserves it. And that's what he is. They finished 2 games behind you, 2.5 games behind you. Okay. So last time I checked, you didn't blow them out. Okay. When James Harden decides he wants to play basketball, there's not too many guys better in the league when he decides he wants to play.
And by the way, James Harden was an MVP. So they got 2 MVPs playing on that team.
Right.
Too.
So
how many do we have, Chris? How many MVPs do we got on our team?
None.
Right
Zero.
Okay. Thank
zero.
You.
And
but we're the better
Maxi's
team.
Playing. Yeah, Maxi's playing better than anybody Boston has. Else that Boston has. Okay.
You know what Maxi's doing, Chris?
Embiid's out playing Tatum and Harden's out playing Brown. Maxi's out playing Smart. Okay. So what? No, you're not the better team. Philly's the better team. That's why they're up 3-2. They're the better team. Don't talk to me about, well, on paper. No. Here is the intangible right here. And I'm pointing to my head right now. Okay. That's the intangible. Okay. The brain, the tenacity, the heart. That's the intangible, Mark. That makes you a better team. That makes you a better player. That's factored in. You can't just throw that out and say, well, on paper, he's a better basketball player. No, he's not a better basketball player because he doesn't have that makeup to be a better basketball player than Embiid. Am I wrong?
No, I agree with you. And Maxey, Chris, is playing the same type of role that Jeremy Wiggins played last year for Golden State, and we had no answer for Wiggins. And I'm going to tell you something, Chris, we have no answer for Maxey. I don't know what they're going to plan. And I'm going to say this. Here's what concerns me about the Celtics, Chris. I don't think Joe Mazzulla is capable of making an adjustment, Chris. I think he's going to roll the ball out, and they're going to play the same game they played. They're going to play the same game they always play. And like you just said, Chris, 5 minutes ago, he's going to hope they hit their 43s or whatever they shoot, 33, whatever they shoot. He's going to hope they hit their 3-pointers tomorrow night, and maybe you win the game because he scored 75, 80 points through 3-pointers, like you said, Chris. But he's not going to train strategy. I don't think he's capable of, Chris, because I don't think he's that type of a tactician as a coach. Certainly, if it comes to X's and O's, Doc has an advantage, I think. You know, what do you think?
Most in the league do. Look, for the simple, okay, we talked about Al Horford, right? But like when he's on, he can't. Why aren't the 2 bigs on the floor? I mean, crap. PJ Tuck, he's not shooting the ball that well. You could put Robert Williams, bring him up to the top on him. The 2 bigs should be out there. Do something different. Okay.
Chris, why didn't you were screaming for Blake Griffin? Give him a shot. Give him 6-7 minutes. See what he does. He can't do any worse than Robert Williams and Horford were doing last night.
You're down 20 points. They're physically beating you down. Physically beating you. Put a guy on the court where you say, I don't care if you foul out in 5 minutes. Put a body on Embiid. Put a body on Harden. Don't let this guy in the lane without getting abused. You know, and Griffin, he'll go do that. And put some snipers out there. Pritchard, that's fine. They finally got Pritchard in the game, but they don't let him shoot the ball. Then at the end, he's throwing up threes, and he said, that kid's a sniper. He'll shoot you back into the game. And he's not going to they're not going to put their best defender on him. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. And not only that, Mark, He doesn't call these guys out. He doesn't get in their face. He doesn't do anything. He gets in the press conference and says, well, we had the intentions of playing well. What the hell does that mean? You had the intentions of playing well? You played like shit. I don't even understand that, Mark. Larry Bird, okay? This is the other thing about Tatum. Larry Bird, in the finals, at this stage of the finals, told his team in the press conference after, they don't have any heart. They don't have heart. We have no heart, he said. And what did they do in Game 6? I thought somebody was going to put Kurt Rambis in the hospital.
Yeah.
There's nobody on this team that can do that, and the coach is supposed to be able to do that, and he's not doing it, right?
No, absolutely. No, you're 100% right, Chris. In fact, Tatum's press conference, I don't know if it was last night or this morning. It might have been this morning.
It was like,
right? Yeah. And then he says, well, we're going to go there. We're going to do this. We're going to play our game. Blah, blah. He said, and then, we're going to meet with you again, say the same shit, and then we're going to go play the game. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? Really?
And the funny thing is, and this is the day and age we're in, nobody's accountable. Nobody holds themselves accountable. And look, the bottom line is, the name of this show today is, where's the heart, Boston? Where is the heart? You're not going to win without it.
So, Chris, is this coming back?
Because Curry's got miles and miles of it.
Chris, is this coming back to Boston this series?
No.
You don't believe so?
No.
I'm going to say this. Go back and watch the playoff preview show, NBA playoffs. Chris said the Boston Celtics will not make it out of the second round. He didn't even know who they were playing in the second round. He said they will not make it out of the second round. They don't have it this year. He said, I'm telling you. I thought they would. I thought they'd get beaten in the Eastern Conference Finals at Milwaukee in a Game 7. Milwaukee didn't even get there. But Chris said they will not make it out of the second round. So you may be right with your prediction. And I think you're the only guy in New England who called it, Chris. The only guy in New England who called it. They won't come out of the second round was Chris. And he may turn out to be right.
Well, let me be the only guy in New England to say this then, too. Okay? And step up, pay attention, open your ears, everybody. There is no way the Boston Celtics will never win a championship with Jason Tatum unless there's a new number one that comes through the door.
Wow.
Period.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have it where it counts. That's it.
Listen, you heard it here. You heard it on Corso and Catone. The real deal New England feel, because no one else is going to say that, Chris. You're saying it.
It won't happen. It won't happen. So, Mark, and with the 3 minutes we have left here in this segment, just flipping to the – so we'll pay attention. On Saturday night, Mark and I could look like total idiots because they play again, tomorrow night, and then what again? Saturday?
We could look like idiots.
Is Saturday Game 7 or Sunday?
Saturday's Game 7, I think.
Okay, so let's hope they show us wrong. Tune in. Let us know in Heated Hotline for next week if we're wrong. I don't think we're wrong, Mark, and I hate the fact that we're not wrong. But in the couple of minutes we have left, Mark, looking at the Bruins, I saw an interview with Montgomery who's all mad. He was angry. He was mad. I don't know who he's mad at, but is he gonna be the guy that falls here for this?
Well, Chris, so they have the press conference yesterday, their end of the year wrap up show, and all the execs are on. And they're all talking, they're all patting each other on the back saying, hey, we made the right moves. We went and brought in the guys, the pieces that we thought were going to get this done. And we still think we brought in the right pieces. So who are you putting it on? They're putting it on who? They're putting it, obviously, I guess they're putting it on the players, but they're putting it on Montgomery. They said they brought in the right pieces.
You got to put it on Montgomery. And obviously the players too. I mean, you got to. I mean, guys like, we talked about McAvoy's the best guy on this team, right? He's probably the best player on this team all around. He played like crap in the playoffs. And for the latter part of the season, his play declined. He didn't take a jump up this season. They got a lot of moves to make, Mark.
They do, Chris, quickly. The three guys that they brought in at the trade deadline, Orlov, Hathaway, and Bertuzzi, are all free agents. What do you do with those three guys? In my opinion, you roll those guys back. You get rid of other guys on your roster. You make moves. I think you give those three guys another shot, Chris, because I think those are the types of guys that will win in the playoffs, Chris. For some reason, we brought those guys in to play the type of game it would take to beat Florida and Carolina, and yet we didn't play it. So it's going to be on Montgomery, but I would try to keep those core 3 guys together with the rest of them, Chris, in my opinion.
Agreed. I agree. Including and also Coyle and also what's his name, Zaka.
Which Chris means you're going to have to try to unload Grizzly. You're going to have to try to unload Hall, right?
Lindholm.
What are you going to do?
Lindholm, Carlo. You got to revamp your defense.
Yeah.
You build it around McAvoy and Orlov, and you got to revamp the and you know what? Get something for one of those goalies if you can. You don't need a 1 and a 1A. So
no,
I mean, that's it. So we'll pay attention. Want to hear from you in the Heated Hotline. B's and C's was presented by Special Sauce Podcast. What's your special sauce? SpecialSaucePodcast.com. Hey, when we come back, buckle up. Catone's Comments is next.
Special Sauce Podcast. You like the sauce? The sauce is good, eh?
This is start off as finance. Train them, trust them, and let them lead.
With your host, Marcus Arias. Tune in to Special Sauce Podcast, wherever you podcast. What's your special sauce? Time for Catone's Comments!
So the other day, Chris, right? I was at a store, and I love to go to stores. But listen, the store was not the problem. It was the problem, but not shopping wasn't the problem. Checking out was the problem. Now, I got an issue with the new way you check out, but now, when you check out, at least in this part of the country, at the end of checking out, that asks you if you want to donate something or just before you check out on the screen and whatever. I don't have a problem with that. You can say yes, no, whatever. It is what it is. You do whatever you personally want to do, and that's great. I have no problem with that. Listen, I donate to a lot of causes, right? I'm a diabetic. I donate to diabetes. I donate. My father's got the heart issues. I donate to the American Heart Association. I donate to ASPCA for animals. I got a dog. There's a lot of things that my wife and we do donate to, but that's a personal thing, and I don't tell anybody what I do. I've helped lead fundraisers for certain things, and listen, I do that stuff, right? But no one has to know that. That's a personal thing that I do. Chris don't even know some of the things that I do. That's personal, right? We do it. I do it. Hey, that's just something that I do. But I go to the store the other day, and now the new thing is the cashier says to me verbally, "Do you want to donate to the Cancer Association?" There's a line a mile long behind me. What am I going to say? No, I don't want to donate to cancer. I'm a jerk. I'm not going to donate. You got to donate. What the hell are you going to do? Okay, I donate. No problem. Hey, listen, I donated. That's fine. I leave. On my way home, I got to stop by another store. I go in. I'm checking out. This time, do you want to donate to the American Heart Association? They ask me. It's not on the screen anymore. They're asking me. Well, now you're looking around. Everybody's looking at you, behind you, on the side here. You're like, well, what the hell am I going to say? No, I'm gonna sound like a complete jerk. No, I don't want to donate. F them. Let them die. I gotta donate. Listen, I have no problem. Do it anyways, privately. I gotta do it. Now I go home. I tell my wife, imagine what they're making me do. Next morning, I go to another store. Same thing. This time, do you want to donate to animal cruelty? I already give money to the ASPCA. And listen, but I'm not going to tell the cashier that. So I'm going to donate again. Listen, it's getting beyond absurd. I don't even know how it's allowed that they're verbally asking you this. Now, I don't know if this goes on in Arizona, Chris. Like I said, if it's on the touch screen when you're checking out, I have no problem with it. You want to, whatever you want to give, you don't want to give, that's fine. It's in the screen in front of you. Not a problem with that. I don't care if they do it in every store you're in. But now you're getting harassed verbally by the cashiers to ask you whether or not you want to do that. It's almost like they're trying to publicly shame you if you don't. Hey, listen, this is disgraceful. I'm going to publicly shame them before I check out. How's that? What's wrong with that? I'm going to publicly shame them.
That it.
I'm disgusted. Listen, And I know you do a lot for charity, Chris, and that people don't know. And you donate to different things, right? We do it. We do it out of the goodness of our heart because we want to do it. And we don't go publicize what we're doing. That's not who we are, right? We don't do that. So don't verbally put me on the spot. But now, Chris, it's every store you go in over here. It's insanity. It's absolute insanity. I don't know if they do that out there. It used to be just a touch screen, which was I was okay with that. That was a personal thing. Nobody saw what you were doing when you checked out. Now they want to verbally harass you.
You're a mean one, Mr.
Yeah,
Grinch.
Mr. Grinch. Yes, it's you, Mr. Grinch.
You know what? It's the presumption of it. It's the presumption. That you're just gonna, because you're right. Yeah, it happened to me yesterday in Costco.
Did they verbally?
Weird.
They verbally?
Oh no, they do the things. No, not only that, they fill out the little thing. They put your name in the little thing and they put it up on the wall. They get this little sticker thing, whatever the hell it is.
Okay.
So they put the name and they put it up. So now, okay, I'm with you. It's a private thing. I donate anything to do with children. I do, Phoenix Children's Hospital, St. Jude, all of it. All great causes. What you do is the same. Great causes. It's the presumption of it. It's the presumptuous kind of come at me with things. I'm with you. Mm-hmm. I get you. You know what happens here, like constantly, what you see it over here. This is where it gets uncomfortable too. The homeless people with the signs.
Oh, they do that here.
So there's a lot of on ramps, off ramps. There's a million, highways and things around here. It's a big place, and so you come down the off ramp, and now you're sitting there, and then they come with the, I'm down on my luck, and
I get it.
Meal and okay. I mean, I feel terrible. I mean, I don't carry cash anyway, so I don't carry.
No,
cash.
I don't. You know what, Chris? I don't
carry
either,
cash
so
anymore.
I couldn't.
Anyway,
you're right. I couldn't donate. I couldn't give those poor people money if I wanted to because you're right. I don't carry cash either.
You know what my cousin, Bert's, Joe's brother, who's his birthday today. By the way, happy birthday,
Bert.
And by the way, it's Mark's birthday tomorrow. So,
yes, it is.
Meaning Thursday, the 11th. So send Mark and Heated Hotline your best birthday wish.
Oh, that could be dangerous.
They call him a Scrooge and a Grinch and all this because he doesn't want to give the people money. And listen, Mark, I'm with you. I mean, they're walking around with the signs, and you feel like a real piece of garbage because you don't. I'll never forget. I was telling you about his brother, right? We were, this is many, many years ago, and we're in Providence, and we're out one night, and it's, I don't know what time it is, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, whatever. So he goes and gives, he used to see this one person every week, and ask him for money. We'd give him things if we had it, whatever. And so this one particular week, the guy comes over, says, hey. So he pulls out a job application. Okay. He brought with him a job application for McDonald's, and he gives him the job. He said, hey, go fill this out. He said, go over to the Y. Go over to the Y. He said, go wash up, clean yourself up tomorrow, fill this thing out. And they're looking for people. All right, this is what he does. The guy, you know what the guy did? The guy started throwing rocks at him. He told him to go F himself.
No, he didn't.
He told him to go F himself. But, so Mark, listen, I know. I'm with you.
Leave it to Bert.
I know. But you listen, you do a lot. I know you do. You definitely do a lot. And it is a little annoying. It really is. It's like, who says no in that situation?
No,
the Salvation Army, that's the Santa Claus people with the bells. That's the other thing. Standing outside the grocery store. I mean, nobody has cash anymore. No, now you really feel like an idiot. I'm going to throw him a can of string beans.
Oh, I mean, it's seriously though, Chris, what do you do? Like, I feel bad, but like I said, I have no problem. They put it on the screen. You want to donate, whatever. Okay, fine. You can do that. But now they're going to verbally ask you, harass you and say, oh, do you want to listen, whatever. I just don't see the purpose of that. That's not what I'm going to the store for. I'm going to the store to get a certain product. I want to get it. I want to check out. If I choose to donate something on a screen, that's fine. It's bad enough, Chris. I have enough trouble checking out. You put it in, you put the chip. What do you do? I told you that about 3 weeks ago. I told you on CATONE'S Comments. I have enough trouble checking out of the place. Now you want me to donate too?
Truly
I mean, really?
a conversation for a different
on,
day.
Chris.
So listen, again, once again, everybody needs to stay away from Mark. But you know what? Heated Hotline, call in, give Mark your best birthday wish for him. And good stuff, Mark. Grinch's Comments was presented by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. CorsoLawGroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. Hey, when we come back, we're going to hear from one of you in the nation in Heated Hotline right after this.
It's that time again for a timeout for a message from one of our sponsors. No one ever thinks they will be in the need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people all across this great country who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. So whether it's a traffic ticket or if you need reduced DUI or more serious issues, call or go online to CorsoLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys who I know will help you. Corso Law Group.
Back in with more Corso and Catone, the real deal, New England feel. All right, Mark, I have all the controls today. I'm ready to go.
Here we go. We'll listen to Heated Hotline 5 times now. Let's go.
Let's hear from one of you Heated Hotlines right now.
So I heard that Mac Jones is rated the 29th quarterback in the league. That means that quarterbacks that haven't played a single down in the NFL are better? Who the hell makes these lists? He ain't that bad. Stupid. Thanks, guys.
So, Mark, it is an interesting take. I heard that this week. There was some poll out there, and thank you guys. You know what? Hey, listen, she called. She's right to the point. She didn't even drop her name or where she's from, but I think I've heard her. I think she's called in the past before.
She's called in. She's definitely a loyal listener because I do remember the voice.
Another disgusted Patriots fan. So we're now finding all kinds of things to be irritated about. Now we're talking about the polls. So, Mark, I heard this too. To set it up, there was a poll put out there or some kind of list that rated Mac Jones as the 29th, either the 4th worst quarterback in the NFL or the 29th best quarterback in the NFL. Whatever, rated 29. Mark, what do you she have a point? What do you make of that? It seems odd.
Listen,
absurd to me.
Listen, I think she does have a point. I mean, you're ranking guys that have never taken a snap in the NFL before Mac Jones. Listen, the kid, we know what happened last year. We understand what happened last year. We know what his coaching was last year. We get it. And we did a thing last week, Chris, where the NFL Network tiered out the quarterback groupings, right? They didn't rank them, but they tiered them out in the AFC. Yeah. Oh, there he is.
I have it. I'm holding up paper now. For those of you on the radio, I have it. I still print things.
What is he in tier 6?
He's in tier 6, and you know what?
But they don't rank him in tier 6, Chris. So based on that, he wouldn't be 29th in the league.
Well, this list, and I wanted to talk about this, and we were going to go to Pat's preview, but we could just go right into it from this. But caller, to your point. Yeah, he's definitely better than the 29th quarterback in the league. I mean, Christ, if you're going to take Stroud, Levis, and Richardson and make them the 30, 31, and 32, I guess, because they've never played a snap. Well, you're telling me that Geno Smith's better because he had that one. He's better. There's some of these guys out there, Mark, that are just
quarterback from Washington is better.
I don't even know who the quarterback from Washington is.
Neither do I. So that's what I'm saying, Chris. So how is that?
So, I caller, we agree with you. Thank you for that call. And but Mark, I'm glad she brought that up because I wanted to talk about this anyway, and talk about the tiers and Mac Jones and where does he really rank? Because when you look at this is an AFC list. This is the thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I agree with a lot of this. I mean, Mahomes, 1. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Rodgers, Jackson, Herbert, Wilson, Watson. That gets you through 4. All right, 3, 6. That's 8 quarterbacks right there. Now you start
Who do they
getting
have?
into
Who do wait a minute, but who do they have behind? Who do they have ranked as 2?
They have Mahomes is 1. They have 2
Yep,
being Burrow and Allen.
Okay.
They
All
have
right.
3 being Rodgers, Jackson, and Herbert.
Okay.
Okay. They got 4 being Wilson and Watson. They got
Okay.
5 being Garoppolo. And I agree with that.
I agree with that.
Because when he's healthy, he produces. Now, the tier 6. So now, you're talking 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the top 9 guys in the AFC. Okay, we'll talk about the NFC in a second, but the AFC. Now you get into tier 6, and there's 4 guys they have on this list. Pickett, Jones. Now, I don't know if this is ranked within the category, within the tier. I don't know that.
We don't know that. We're not sure of.
But if you have Pickett, Jones, Tua, and Lawrence are in that group, okay? So to me, if you're at 9,
Jones is
and this
better
is
than Pickett. Jones is better than Pickett.
So if you already named 9, and this is the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th player. So to me, I say Tua's probably 10 because of how he's been playing. I say Lawrence is 11.
Okay.
And I say Jones is 12.
12. Okay.
And then Pickett's 13.
Yep.
And then the 14th, 15th, and 16th are Stroud, Levis, and Richardson because they have never played a snap.
Yeah.
So that puts him at 12 in the AFC. Now, if you're going to take other quarterbacks from the NFC and put them above Jones, he starts to drop again. I would say Dak Prescott's probably one of them.
So, Chris, I would say, though, there's probably 4 or 5 NFC quarterbacks below him. So I'm thinking he's somewhere between 20.
Well, who's better than him in the NFC? Talk about the guys that are better.
So Prescott's better. So we're not going to rank them, but let's just say Prescott's better.
Okay, so that pushes him to 13, let's say.
Let's do it by division. Prescott's better. Jalen Hurts is better.
Yeah.
Do you believe that Daniel Jones from the Giants is better?
No.
Okay, so he's below. He's behind him.
So right now he would be 14th in the NFL.
And then you got the quarterback from Washington who we don't even know who the hell he is, so he's going to be behind him.
That's over. So now go over to Green Bay is left without a guy. I don't want
Green Bay. I mean, Love. You can't predict Love. You got to put Love behind him. Yeah. I mean, I guess you put Cousins ahead of him, right?
Cousins. So that pushes Mac to 15.
Do you put the guy from Detroit above him?
No. Goff, no. Nope.
You don't?
No. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I think,
Okay.
He had
so
the
put
good
him behind.
year. He had
Okay.
some good weapons,
So put him behind. And what about Fields from Chicago?
TBA, I just don't know.
We don't know.
Mac Jones has done more than he has so far. So so Mac Jones is still at 15. Is there anybody in the NFC South?
Now you got what do you got? You got Tampa. I don't even know who the quarterback is. At this point, they don't know who it is.
Carolina just drafted one, so no.
Carolina just drafted one. We don't know what he'll turn out to be. Right?
Atlanta,
we don't know.
Who the hell is
Atlanta?
That's somebody I never heard of either.
Atlanta, I don't know. Right?
And now you have
New Orleans.
Well, you know how I feel about Carr.
New Orleans has Carr.
I don't. I think Carr is you put him behind a Ferrari last year and he failed miserably. So no, I think Jones is better, which still.
So then you go out. You go out west. You got your buddy out in Phoenix, Murray.
Yeah, he's a better athlete. He's not a better quarterback. He's not a better quarterback.
I don't think he's a better quarterback.
No, he's not a quarterback. He's a terrible quarterback. He's a good athlete.
You'll rank him behind Jones.
Okay, if you want to put Murray there because of the athleticism, then fine. Jones goes down to 16.
Okay.
In the league.
And then you have Geno Smith, which we both agree.
I don't.
But the only thing with Geno Smith is he's loaded at receiver.
Well, now he is.
So I don't know what he'll look like.
Don't get into that again now with Smith Najaga. Don't, So we're talking about quarterbacks.
I'm just saying
and then you have Stafford. And you have Stafford.
Listen, do you know you could have had DK Metcalf and Smith Najeeba on the Patriots?
Yeah, I know.
All right, just figured I'd throw that out there. Anyway, so as a little tidbit, so Geno Smith we're gonna put behind him, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think so. I don't think Geno Smith's that good.
And then you got the quarterback from San Francisco. Who? What are you gonna say? Purdy?
No, I think Mac Jones is better. I mean, Purdy had a good. Look, he's in front of a Ferrari too. I mean, look at the weapon. If you gave Mac Jones all those weapons, wouldn't he? I mean,
Okay,
I'm
but
talking about the
listen
quarterback.
listen to me, Chris. But listen, do you think? Well, wait a minute now. So
do it the other way, Mark. Do it the other way. Take
minute,
those
Chris.
guys and put them on the Patriots.
Chris, wait a minute. We put Tua ahead of Jones, but isn't that because he's driving a Lamborghini?
Okay, then do it the other way. Put these guys on the Patriots.
You can't go by that.
So compare apples to apples then. Put these guys on the Patriots.
Oh,
pick whichever way you want to do. Like, in other words, okay, so do you think that Geno Smith's skill set is better than Mac Jones?
I don't, but Purdy's might be. Purdy might
be. Then fine. Then
not
kick
Smith,
Mac Jones
not Geno Smith. Not Geno Smith.
All right, then kick Mac Jones to 17 now. Okay.
Yeah,
what about Stafford?
Purdy might be, Chris. No. I think
Stafford's a better.
I think Stafford's washed up, Chris. I think he's washed up. I think he was 2 years ago. I think last year his play declined drastically.
So in the whole league, then you're
even
talking Mac Jones.
Even if people disagree with us on a couple of them, say you even put him at 20, Chris.
He's in the teens. He's somewhere in the teens.
He's in the low. He's somewhere in the
like
teens.
16 to like 19, that range.
Yes,
he ain't 29.
No, he's somewhere in the teens. No, he's not 29.
He's not
absolutely
29. Not. So
no, absolutely not, Chris. Absolutely
okay,
not.
so then let me ask you, what's it going to take for him to climb out of coming up this season? Then what's it going to take for him to get up to 10, get up to 12? What is it possible? What would it take?
And if he gets up to 10 or 12, do you make the playoffs? Add that to the mix.
Well, forget that. That's a conversation.
Oh, we're not going to talk about it.
That's the conversation. I'm trying to run controls and buttons. You're asking me about things that aren't even on the schedule. Listen, no, but what do they have?
So what will it take to get him to 10 or 12? Okay, so
with what
trading for DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
No, in all seriousness, if you took the current roster, if you take their current roster, let's say that's who they got opening day, right? That's who they got. Yeah. So, I think, Chris, Bill O'Brien is going to obviously the offense is going to look much different, and I think
I'm not asking about wins. I'm just asking what makes him better.
Yes, I think O'Brien is going to put in a system that's going to allow Mac Jones to use his brain, make some quick reads, do some things schematically in regards to spreading the field and bringing in some of the concepts that they ran at Alabama. Whether or not we have the personnel to run it or not, I'm not saying whether we do or we don't. That remains to be seen. But I do think he's going to take some of those core concepts that Mac Jones was very familiar with, Chris, and he's going to try to use Thornton like Alabama used to use Waddle. I'm not saying Thornton is Waddle, but he's going to try to tell Thornton, this is the route you're running. Jones is comfortable with that. I think you're going to see him with Bourne try to line Bourne up in the slot and have Bourne do some of the things that John Mechie used to do for Jones when Jones was at Alabama. And I think you're going to see him put the kid Butte on the field. I think that kid Butte can do some things that those Arizona receivers used to do. Now, the
Don't
guy
sleep
that
on Douglas either.
No, Douglas, the guy that mystifies me, totally mystifies me, because I don't understand what the media over here is saying, Chris. I just don't get it. Maybe you can elaborate for me. This the Gesicki, the tight end that they signed.
Yeah,
he's the second coming of Kellen Winslow, Rob Gronkowski. I don't know. This guy's a Hall of Fame tight end. If you read if you read what people are saying, this guy's going to go to the Hall of Fame, Chris. But if Bill O'Brien puts those things in place, Chris, can he move up to 10 or 12 on that list? Yeah, there's a possibility. Maybe not 10 or 12, maybe 14, 15, but I think he definitely will improve. He should. If he doesn't improve with O'Brien, Chris, then you know what? He definitely isn't the guy, and you're going to move on, and you're going to do something maybe, and if that's the case, you're probably going to finish in the top 10 draft picks for next year, and then you sell whatever you're going to sell to go get Caleb Williams.
Well, I think that in order for that to happen too, taking it from the other way, some of these other guys got to fall a little bit too. Russell Wilson may not come back to form just because Peyton's there. Deshaun Watson may never get back to where he was. Then he would fall. Garoppolo can't stay on the field. He would fall. And so by that process, he could bump up too. Now, I agree with all the things you said that what would have to happen, but I mean, I agree he's going to be better than he was last year. Last year
He has to be.
He has to be better. So I mean, I think he's better than 17, 18 in the league. I do. I mean, when he's right, I think he has a chance to be as good as for certainly Cousins. Certainly Cousins and Stafford, and we didn't put him above him, but Purdy, certainly and possibly Prescott, possibly, because I don't like the way he's played. I mean, I don't know that he could catch Herbert, Jackson, Rodgers. I mean, these guys, but Tua, I think so. So I mean, I think with what they put together now, I'm not happy with the weapons. No, not at all. And by the way, just on Gesicki, yeah, if he wasn't getting it done with that offensive nerd in Miami, then he's not getting it done in New England. By the way, he's not Gronk. He's not a tight end anyway. He's a glorified wide receiver, period. That's what he is. He's not a tight end. Don't think this guy, they don't have a tight end that can block anybody. They don't have that. So
that's a problem, Chris.
He's not. And Mark, real quick before we go, the schedule comes out tomorrow. We're going to have a whole next week. Tune in because we're going to have a whole first half of there's going to be about wins and losses. We're going to start picking the wins and losses on the schedule. But they are going to Germany on November 21st, Mark.
12th. Is it the 12th or 21st?
I don't know. 21st,
One of those dates. But listen, they are going now.
And it's a home game.
I wanted to ask you, Chris, that's a home game for us. So we get screwed a home game then.
Of course we do. Right. I'm going to see what that's about on the invoice for the season tickets. But
that's right, Chris. They charge you for that game?
Yeah, not only that, though, but the game's at 9:30 in the morning Eastern time. That's 6:30. What's that mean? 3 hours. There's going to be a pregame show at what? 3 o'clock in the morning? I ain't going to go to sleep. And then Patch Nation's going to be on after that. Forget it. I'm going to be on fumes. They're going to be playing at 6:30 in the morning.
You might as well just not even sleep 24 hours. Go on a bender like you're at the crap table in Vegas.
Now you're going to take this team across the country. Now you're going to take this team halfway around the world or whatever to play a game. They can't even play at their own house, right, Mark?
Oh, please, Chris, please. We'll see.
So,
but yeah, next week I'm looking forward to that show going through the schedule, Chris.
Okay, well, there's going to be a lot of that and more, so make sure you give us a call in Heated Hotline. Corso and Catone was presented by Special Sauce Podcast. What's your special sauce? SpecialSaucePodcast.com. Listen, get on, watch, listen to all our shows. They're up for you. Hey, and come back next week, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have, hopefully, we're going to be talking more Celtics playoff. Mark, I really, really hope we're not doing a recap show. But anyway, let's see what happens there. And we're going to have our season schedule picks and all of that and more. Anything you bring to the table, we'll be ready. We are Corso and Catone, the real deal, New England feel. See you next Saturday.
Find Corso and Catone on iHeartRadio, iTunes, or wherever you podcast. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, Corso and Catone, and catch the chaos at 7 p.m. on Saturday.